I am going to be sharing some pretty embarrassing stories.
So many of you shared your embarrassing stories, and I feel it's only fair that I share one of my most embarrassing stories.
I'm doing my long-awaited embarrassing crush story.
Tell us about your most embarrassing moments.
Embarrassment is part of everyday life. Fail video compilations, cringy TV show episodes, just having to tell your friend about the person you saw trip up the stairs, or like me, being in front of this camera, making this video.
How embarrassing.
Now I'm gonna turn it over to my man's Erving Goffman to talk about the technical side of things.
Erving Goffman was a very influential Canadian-American sociologist and writer. His major areas of study were sociology of everyday life, social interaction, the social construction of self, and social organization of experience, also known as framing. He is best known for his study of symbolic interaction, that people interact with each other in certain ways to create symbolic words, which in turn shapes their behaviors. Within Goffman's study of symbolic interaction lies an article he wrote in 1956 titled Embarrassment and Social Organization. This article offers ideas on how embarrassing interactions have a key social function.
Embarrassment is a universal possibility in every encounter. It occurs when an individual is felt to have projected incompatible definitions of themselves before those present. Goffman says it's only natural to be at ease during interaction, embarrassment being a regrettable deviation from the normal state. Because of this, someone may express if they felt natural or unnatural during interaction in regard to feeling embarrassed or not. Specifically, his crucial concern is the impression people make on each other in interaction, how an individual's embarrassment affects the relations with those present. An interaction consists of projected claims to an acceptable self, and the confirmation of those claims on others present, almost like a panel of judges.
In any embarrassing interaction, Goffman asks, by whom is the embarrassing incident caused, to whom is it embarrassing, for whom is the embarrassment felt. Feeling embarrassed for someone, what is often called secondhand embarrassment. When someone blushes, others present will usually blush with and for the original blusher. But Goffman distinguishes that the amount of secondhand embarrassment felt depends on the relationship to the humiliated victim and the interaction. The closer the ties to the affected and/or the situation, the higher the chance others find themselves unfixed. Embarrassment seems to become contagious and spreading, almost like a disease within the encounter. Goffman categorizes embarrassing interactions into two familiar structures: abrupt embarrassment, which follows a timeline of a sudden introduction of a humiliating event followed by an immediate peak in embarrassment experience, then a slow return to preceding ease. Prolonged embarrassment, which follows a sustained level of embarrassment beginning at the start of the encounter and lasting till the end of the interaction. One's self-comfort and fluster are directly opposed within interaction. The more of one, the less of the other, and through contrast, each mode of behavior can throw light upon the other.
When discomfort arises in interaction, the flustered individual will make effort to conceal their state. A fixed smile, a nervous laugh, busy hands, and a downward glance are all familiar concealing methods. These gestures provide a screen to hide behind while the individual tries to compose themselves. But still, where does embarrassment come from? Goffman notes that embarrassment arises when the self-projected is somehow confronted with another self, which, though valid in other contexts, cannot be sustained in harmony with the first. When an individual uses a role that does not pass the socially determined standards of interaction, embarrassment ensues. In other words, someone's not going to act the same in a professional work setting as they do with friends in a casual setting. But neither role discredits the other, because usually there's a different audience for each role.
It is a social norm to keep your cool, so it is no surprise that we as a society are obsessed with doing so. In poker, a whole card game based on presenting dubious claims in a calm manner in effort to win a cash prize, preparing before a big presentation or practicing before a recital, all in effort to avoid embarrassment of not being perfect. We are taught to learn and know what flusters us so we can combat it.
Yet what we overlook, and what Goffman reminds us, is that embarrassment is ecologically built into interaction. He uses the example of corporate elevator small talk. Two individuals who aren't really on chatting terms, like from different departments, are in the elevator for too long of a time to avoid informal talk. In situations like these, tension is relieved through comedy. It denies the reality of the situation. Embarrassment is part of the human experience, and it humanizes individuals. Goffman's ideals remind us it's okay to be comforted by that. Showing embarrassment when one can be neither of two roles gives way to the possibility that in future interaction, one can be either of the roles effectively, aka redemption. One's role in a current interaction may have to be sacrificed. They cannot present a coherent, sustainable self, but that does not mean in future occasions that they won't be able to prove themselves worthy. So I leave you with this. To this extent, embarrassment is not an irrational impulse breaking through socially prescribed behavior, but part of this orderly behavior itself.